Well, here we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, happy Championship Sunday from the Mizzle and Dub Show. It's been a long
Yes, sir.
time
Yes,
coming, but
sir.
we definitely had to do a show previewing Championship Sunday before you could get to Lombardi. Before you can even think about hoisting Lombardi, you
Yes.
first have to get the Hallis and the Hunt Trophy first. So this show is just going to be dedicated to previewing both championship games. Of course, the Packers and the Bucks will kick off in about 35 minutes. So we'll just jump right into it. First and foremost, injury reports. As you know, uh, Bakhtiari, the Packers left tackle, he's not playing, but the Packers offensive line has not missed a step. For the Buccaneers,
Yes.
Vita Vita returns for the Buccaneers. That will help the Buccaneers' run defense, but they lose a key piece in the secondary. Antoine Winfield Jr. will not play. It's snowing in Green Bay, but it's not as cold as we thought it would be. But given the fact that you got two quarterbacks that really don't care about the elements, they are two of the best bad weather game quarterbacks we've ever seen. And as the late Pete Axtell used to say all the time on ESPN NFL Game Day, it's his favorite matchup. Tampa Bay and Green Bay, the Bay of Pigs. But it's only the second time these two teams have met in the playoffs. They met in the 97 divisional round. Brett Favre got the best of his buddy Warren Sapp. The Packers went on
Yeah.
to win the NFC Championship game, beating my beloved Niners and beating and going to Super Bowl 32 before losing to the logo, as my brother would say, the logo being John Elway and the Broncos in Super Bowl 32. So, my friend, I know some people had expected Tampa Bay to be in the scenario. I know Green Bay was here last year,
Yeah.
and in a sense, 2020 really has been the quote unquote revenge tour for Green Bay, so to speak.
Yes.
They're back here in the
Yes.
championship game, but for Aaron Rodgers, it's the first time he's played the NFC title game at home on the frozen tundra of Lambeau
Yes.
Field. The previous four have been on the road against the Falcons, against the 49ers, against the Bears, which he won against the Bears, and so forth. Um, some would say it's a lot more pressure on Rodgers than it is Brady, because obviously Rodgers wants that second ring, and for a lot
Yes.
of us fans, we've always wanted to see what would have happened if we would have gotten a Brady Rodgers Super Bowl. That's not going to happen, but by
Yes.
God, you get the second closest thing of Brady versus Rodgers NFC Championship game. So how do you see this particular matchup fading out as we got about 25 minutes or so to kick off?
Well, got another, not a old match like we got with New Orleans and Tampa Bay, but we got savvy veterans in Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Didn't see Tampa Bay making it this far because I thought, the Saints was a little bit better and a couple other teams were stronger. But to get this matchup and not get them in the Super Bowl was pretty huge. I don't see a lot of defense in this game as much as people might think. And the same well as the Chiefs and the Bills. I don't see a lot of defense in that. But with this one, I see the quarterbacks dueling it out. I see Rodgers making unbelievable passes. I see Brady being Brady. But when it comes down to it, I just think Aaron Rodgers has a little bit more offense than the Buccaneers. Just a little bit more. And
Well,
they were here last year. And so the continuity is there. Nothing really changed. A lot of players that were dropping the balls last year are now catching the ball, especially Scantling. Because he
yes,
dropped a
yeah.
lot of balls this year. And now you see Rodgers is trusting them a lot more. So when Rodgers trusts you, you better be ready. Because he's gonna throw the ball to you regardless of how covered you are. He feels that you're open, it's coming in there. So to make a long
Well,
story short, my prediction is Packers win by field goal. And I think it's gonna come down to a field goal. I believe that.
it's funny you said that because as I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, and I said I think it's going to come down to another Mason Crosby game-winning kick, almost kind of like he did against the Cowboys a few years ago in
Yes.
Arlington. Um, I definitely think one element that really hasn't been talked about is the three-headed run game that the Packers have with Jones, Williams, and Dillon, and
They all they all come a special way. They
they do.
all are special.
And one thing that I've questioned Tampa Bay on is I I don't know why they haven't utilized Leonard Fournette as the bell cow because he's certainly built for it and certainly can do it. But they still want to
Facts.
sprinkle in. But they still want to sprinkle in Ronald Jones, the second. I mean, they kind of went to him more last week against the Saints,
Mm-hmm.
and I know there are Brady slippers out there, but realistically, Brady didn't really have a good game. The only reason why I looked
No,
at those because the Buccaneers defense on three of those four turnovers gave the Buccaneers a short field, but also it just goes to show you how important number 45 from LSU is. One, Mr. Devin White, who certainly was the difference maker last week against the Saints, perhaps
let me
sending Drew
tell you.
Brees into retirement. But I
Oh
think
my, that
one
kid is
player
everywhere.
I agree. I agree. But I think one player that really has not gotten talked about, and I think he might play the biggest key in today's game, is he's becoming a very, very good tight end. And I'm talking about Robert Tonyan of the Packers. He's not getting enough exposure. Man can play a ball, and he's become one of Rodgers' most reliable targets this season.
I tell you what, he got me a lot of fantasy points. I'll tell you that. When I put him in there, he's but he was showing a little flashes last year. You know, wasn't he didn't get much exposure, but this year the man just blossomed. He's like I said, a trusted target. Trusted target. Can
With unlimited group fitness classes, team training, racquetball, and more. Find new confidence
and
with the help of for only $25 a month and your
I
first
just think
month.
Rodgers is going to use his feet a lot more.
Happy birthday!
I think he will use he'll use his feet a lot more in this game
I,
because they're going to get pressure.
I definitely. Oh, yeah. Well, the Packers defense has played a lot better, especially the Smith brothers, Preston, and especially Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith has been an absolute force the last month and a half of the season. And of course, as it always has been when it comes to playing Brady, if you can get pressure up the gut with four, your chances of victory are a lot better.
I can't think of that corner for the Packers. He's been playing lights out on that side of the field too. I can't think of his name. I think he allowed -3 yards. Uh, but yeah, he's the name just is not ringing a bell to me right now. I guarantee you, when we're probably off the show, I'll have his name. It always happens.
Yeah,
But yeah, the
that's
Packers
fine.
defense have played a lot better.
Well, some would say their front four. Well, it's hard to compare. We had big boy BJ Raji up the middle. Again,
Oh man,
I just like the
the
way the
pancakes.
pack. Yeah, I just like the way the Packers defense has played. But I mean, again, it's always that factor because I just I, it's as much as you can't stand the guy. Sometimes you just can't count him out. You think, okay, he's done. He finds a way to just seemingly just prove you wrong and tries to beat all the time. Again, he doesn't have Antonio Brown. He still has Chris Godwin. He still has Mike Evans. And of course, he still
And
has
Gronk.
Gronkowski. So I mean,
Yes.
it's I think it's going to come down to what it always comes down to, especially when you have two great future Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Which one of the two makes that one costly mistake? I think is going to be the determining factor in this NFC Championship game. But I still
Yes.
have the Packers winning. I still got the Packers winning by a score of 31-28 with a Mason Crosby walk off into the snow on the frozen tundra, and they go back to the pirate ship for Super Bowl Dominical. Which, by the way, this is a rematch of Week Six. I definitely don't think it'll be 38-10 like it was in Week Six.
Oh,
Both
oh
teams,
yeah,
both teams
oh
are
yeah.
obviously different, and both teams are obviously better. which you always want to, you always want to play your best ball coming into Championship Sunday.
Yes, yes, I agree. I like your score. I was gonna go maybe like both teams get in the 30s, but I do gotta remember that this is gonna be a ground and pound game. So that I like that 31-28 score. But Aaron Rodgers is like you said, both quarterbacks don't have no problem playing in this condition. They
Oh,
they'll sling that football. They'll sling that football like they playing in California. So, but I just like totally forgot about the three-headed monsters that you mentioned. I'm glad you brought that up because that'll make a difference maker. Because as the game goes on, you mix those backs in, they're gonna you gotta account for that. So yeah, I believe if Rogers has the lead, that ground game will pick up just like it did last week.
now were you talking about Jair Alexander or Kevin King?
Alexander,
Okay,
is that number 23?
so let's see. Yes,
I
that is
believe
Jair
the,
Alexander. Yes, he wears
yes,
23. Yes,
yes, that
third
kid can ball,
third year
and he's
man
not that.
from Louisville.
Yeah, that kid can play football. He plays his position very well and quiet. So I like that. So that we got our prediction for the Packers and the Bucks. Let's move on here to we got Mr. Patty Mahomes and Josh Allen, the Bills and the Chiefs.
Well,
I'm
we
very
got.
intrigued with this one. I'm
I know.
very,
Well,
very intrigued with this one.
you got two American Football League original teams, so it's always good when you get some old AFL action in there. Of course, the
Awesome.
Chiefs are, of course, the Chiefs were known as the Dallas Texans before they became the Chiefs. So hard to believe that as many championship games as your beloved Raiders and the Steelers and Dolphins and Patriots have played in, your bitter rivals, the Chiefs, are the first team to host the AFC Championship game for straight years. That's never happened until now. And again, we just mentioned all the teams that have played in this conference championship game, not to mention the Broncos. They play in a lot of title games too. But it's hard to believe that Arrowhead is the first to host three straight title games. But of course, the biggest concern coming into this game is the toe of Patrick Mahomes. He has a
And his
special
dome.
and his dome.
And his dome. I don't think he's 100%, my man. I'm honestly thinking that he had to pass 5 steps to get back on the field, and they cleared him by step two. I don't know. I don't know. I think and you saw if anybody's on that follow us or listens to us on Twitter, a lot of veterans have told him if it's not right, man, don't get out there and play football. You make it seem all right, but that brain, man, we will tell by the first hit. I mean, Buffalo has a very aggressive defense, and they know how to adapt to who they're playing. This is what they did to Lamar Jackson. I mean, they had that man confused.
Well,
So
the thing is, they made Lamar a passer, and that's not Lamar's strength.
yes, and so
He's
since
very
now Mahomes doesn't, and since he has 9 toes, I expect him to, you know, put a little pressure on him. But then again, it says Patrick Mahomes we're talking about. The man can throw in any kind of style of contort or whatever you want to call the word. The man can throw the ball in any way. So I don't think he needs all 10 of his toes to throw the ball because I mean, what quarterback now is still your typical quarterback that steps into their throws? Tom Brady. That's about pretty much about it. Everybody else is using back foot and pure strength.
yeah. I mean, it's a unique dynamic that on one side of the conference, it's sort of kind of like the old guard, even though Rodgers is still one of those guys that is just deadly accurate throwing off his back foot, which is just so unfair. It's
Yes.
ridiculous. And then, and then you got the new age of Josh Allen, who, if people don't know how Josh Allen is good, they're going to find out today if they didn't see it last Sunday. The kid's arm, I mean, you really can say as far as arm strength, Allen and Mahomes really could be 1 and 1A. If you,
Yeah,
excuse me, if you really want to go there. Um,
I agree.
both men have tremendous arm talents. They both can throw it sideways. They both can probably go behind the back if they wanted to. Um, but a big thing for the Chiefs is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the rookie from LSU. He comes back
It's
today,
back.
and
Yes.
that's a big thing for the Chiefs. And unfortunately for the Bills, I think this particular game could have been a game to where Zach Moss, if he didn't hurt himself, might have been a big factor. Even though you still have Devin
Yeah.
Singletary, and I know the Bills are mainly pass, and hardly don't utilize the run, but if they can mix the run in there with Devin Singletary a little bit and not put the whole shoulder on Josh Allen, that's not saying he's not capable. Don't get me wrong, he is
Correct.
very capable.
Correct.
But this is his first time on the second biggest stage in football. Obviously, the biggest stage being the Super Bowl. But I think if your head coach Sean McDermott, who's done a fantastic job since becoming the Bills head coach,
Yes.
3 of the 4 years he has made the playoffs, and now he has the Bills perhaps 15 minutes away or 60 minutes away from going to their fifth Super Bowl overall, their first in 27 years since the days of Levy, Thermal, Bruce, and Jim Kelly. It's quite a story. It may come down to which defense can get pressure, but I think here the
Again,
but here's the thing though. Allen can also kill you with the legs. He's he's just as deadly with his legs as he is with that arm.
that's the thing about this game is that you will have to use a spy on both quarterbacks because if nothing is open, they will scramble. But the difference with the scrambling is Patrick Mahomes will scramble to still throw the ball.
Yes.
Josh Allen is trying to be like Natron Means and run you over. You
Or
know,
maybe do the Edwin Moses and hurdle over you, just as the
oh, okay,
Vikings.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. He can jump, ladies and gentlemen. He is an athlete. This game is hard to pick because how I feel is just how I said in the first game. Whoever makes that vital turnover, and if the other team can capitalize off that turnover, that's going to make the game. All four of these teams are cautious with the ball. I mean, the only person I think that takes more risk is Aaron Rodgers. You know,
Agreed.
you know, but all these offenses are pretty balanced. We already know what Andy Reid's going to do. We've been seeing that since he's been in Philadelphia. That's just been so it's not shocking to see what he's doing with the Chiefs right now.
No, not at all. Not
Uh,
at all.
Josh Allen, I don't know what this word means when it comes to football. When they talk about a quarterback, game manager, it's he just sees the field very well, and he puts his teams in the team in good positions. And when it comes to this game, who's going to stop one side of the ball receiver? I mean, you're going to stop Diggs. Can you stop Hill? But if you stop Hill, you're bringing Grunk. Now, if you're stopping Diggs, that opens up Cole Beasley. You see, there's so much to this dynamics to this game. It's
You
like
meant
playing
Travis.
chess.
You meant Travis Kelsey, not Gronk. The other
I
87.
mean, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, yes. Thank you very much. Yes, I meant to say, yeah, who's going to stop Kelsey? So there's like, this is going to be whatever defense makes the stop, that's who's going to,
And you just mentioned my X factor for the game is Cole Beasley,
well,
and then
that's every game.
and not true, but more so today because now you add Kenny Stills who can also play in the slot. So now you have two slot guys
Yeah.
that Josh Allen can use.
You cracked me up when we did the pre-production for the show. Like, when did he sign? I'm like, wait, you sleeping under a rug? Like it came out of nowhere. Like
Yeah,
he went through waivers and the Bills snatched him up real fast. And look how smart that is right now. You got another savvy receiver out there. So this both of the all the matchups are. This is what football is all about, and this is what me and you live for. We live for dynamic matchups, and I'm gonna have to get. It's like every time I look up.
I know I kn- I know the Raider and you just absolutely despises this.
It's every time you look up, it's Tom Brady. It's like, and to tell you the truth, he just proved to everybody it was not the system. It was the quarterback.
It was the quarterback.
Because I thought what we've been said, like when even when Garoppolo left, even when the dude Reset left, even when the year that Tom Brady broke his ankle and they made Matt Castle,
Castle.
you thought, okay, let's see, is it the system or is it it was the system. They went elsewhere besides Brissett. Brissett went off and he's a winner. You know, it seems like he got the game but other than that, it's been the system. And to see Tom Brady doing this, man, it's almost like watching LeBron. And as much as yeah, like but he's there. It's like Nick Saban, LeBron, and Tom Brady. They just win and they get there. And so, of course, I went against Tom Brady in my first pick. And as you damn well right said, the Raider in me cannot pick the Chiefs. So I got the Buffalo Bills winning by 6 and getting back to the Super Bowl. I believe that defense is going to make that stop, like I said last week when I said the Bills will make a stop to put a stamp on that game, and they sure did. And I see it again. You can say this is the Raider hate all you want to, but I'm looking at more of what I see on the field. Yes, I'm a Raider fan, but I'm giving actual facts. I said that in this show. I will speak the truth. If I felt the Chiefs would win, I would pick the Chiefs. As much as I want to throw up in my mouth saying that, but I believe the Bills are hungry. They're out to prove something. They have wherever we have to play, we're going to go play, and we're going to play hard.
Well,
And
I will say this: if by chance it is the Bills, Orchard Park, New York, and Western New York, and the rest of Buffalo, there
it's
will
going
be
to burn.
tables crashing galore in Western New York. They don't care if they're in the doggone snow. There will be tables crashing and buffalo wings galore. Now,
Well,
people have asked me, and I've said my before all this started, I said my Super Bowl prediction was going to be rematch of Super Bowl one. I'm still
well,
going to go with
we
it.
both picked the Packers. We both said the Packers before it was up in the air for the AFC, but me and you both said Aaron Rodgers is good because you saw in his face last year. You saw that loss, and it was like, okay, okay, this we gonna take this in and we're gonna do the work that I told everybody before. RELAX. Relax.
And I mean,
So
and the funny thing about this is like last year, people were saying about how him and Matt LaFleur just didn't see eye to eye, didn't get along. This year, smooth sailing with those two. And
well he grasped it. He grasped because that's a difference between a veteran who doesn't want to change and a veteran that wants to win.
yes, yes,
Aaron Rodgers wants to win. And so you clearly saw that, okay. I mean, they were flourishing in that offense last year. I mean, they beat the crap out of a lot of teams, including my Raiders last year. You know, they beat the dog crap out of teams, and you just saw that they were getting better and better. And if nobody gets to talking about Devontae Adams being a number one receiver, we're gonna have problems. They
all
might need to talk about MVP for this young man as well.
well,
Yeah, I said it, MVP.
well. Next to Julio Jones and Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, best route runner in football right now, with those two
I
other
mean,
names I previously mentioned. Those three men, and two of them you get to see today, possibly meeting up in the Super Bowl. Devontae and Stephon Diggs, two of the best route runners in football, and of course, when Julio is healthy, he is right there with them.
amen. So give me your prediction. I need your prediction because we both picked the Packers to win, as everyone heard. But Me and you discussed this game was going to be a tough game to pick, and even though I did just come out and flat out say the Bills, it wasn't an easy pick for me because they are playing Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the Chiefs. You can never count them out. But I got the
As
Bills, like I said, by three.
as
By six, excuse me.
as a fan, I am rooting and pulling for the Bills because for people that don't
Yes,
know, the
the Bills
Bills
Mafia, man. The Bills Mafia
they
ain't to be. They're
they
real.
have one of the best fan bases in football, and not only that,
Makes
they
sense.
always donate to the other team's charity. Just last week alone, the Bills made a donation to Lamar Jackson's charity foundation.
Yes.
And Bills Mafia has been doing this forever. But just for the fact of it's the original AFL team, and the Bills have a tremendous rich history, and they just have been on the downside. But I think this would be a team that they're proud, or the late great Ralph Wilson would be proud of for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't go against what I've been saying all along. It. I am so tugged by this,
Well,
but I'm still gonna stick with my prediction. I said it was gonna be a Chiefs Packers Super Bowl. I'm gonna stick with it. I think it's gonna come down to a Harrison Buckner game winner. So
so you
I got the Chiefs by 30.
so we got the State Farm ball, huh? You think
We
so?
have the
Because we predicted this last year that it was going to be the State Farm ball. If you want to be if you want to be correct about it, political, we did say the State Farm ball would have happened last year. So you're saying we're going to get it this year?
Yeah. Now, of course, this was before me thinking that my Niners had a chance. This was before all this happened. But of course,
Yes.
my Niners just came out of nowhere and only to break my heart again. But that's here nor there. As the national anthem is being sung on the frozen tundra, we are actually going to do a double bonus for you guys. We're actually going to do both games. Do
Yes, we
do our own do our own broadcast version of these two games.
are. You're dang right.
Unfortunately, we can't do the Super Bowl because I'll be at work. Unfortunately,
Yes.
doing the day job. But we will bring you both games. Heck, we might even do a post game show after the AFC Championship game, depending on
You
how we
know
feel.
what? I think we might have to do that. I mean, I am going back to work tomorrow, but we'll have to sneak that in there. Maybe bring on a special guest too. Maybe bring on a couple of
Just
guests.
might have
See
to
how
have a special post game edition.
Yeah, but now since while we're on we're going to switch it up here. I got a little question. I'm not a question. I want to bring something up. We do have a certain fan, a Jets fan that watches our show. So I want to give the Jets some love for signing Robert Salah. That right there, anywhere he would have went would have been a good signing. But for the Jets to get him, he'll have that organization up and running by year three. They will be good by year three. I just that man desire to win. You see it on the sideline. He's always fired up. He's a player's coach. You
Tremendous
know,
energy.
he's
Tremendous energy.
a great communicator. You know, he and like you said when we talked about this earlier, is that he played with scraps. Technically, I'm not saying that they're not bad players, but it wasn't he didn't have his best players on the field on defense, and yet and still the Niners defense was still in the top. I would say what the top 10.
They
You know,
were
so
top. They were fifth ranked overall. They were fourth against the pass, seventh against the run, and that's with not having Richard Sherman for a bulk of the year,
not
not
having
having your
Bosa.
best pass, not having your best pass rusher Bosa for most of the year, just band-aiding, mixing and matching, and yet still the defense performed in a disappointing 6-10 season. And they're doing the coin toss right now, so we need to switch avenues. We want to thank you guys for tuning in for this championship edition of the Missile and Dub Show. Again, we will hop on the other station to do our broadcast of both games, but until then, you may see us again tonight with some guests and a quick post-game show. We may give you the first preview of Super Bowl Double Nickel.
Yes, sir. That is double.
That's Mizz.
Thank you for watching.
And orale. Viva la raza.
Yeah. Hey. Go Pack Go. Go Pack Go.
That's a lot of cheese in Wisconsin
All right, brother. I'll see you on the on
on the
Facebook.
side. All right.
Yes, sir.